until he was ready to hang up.
And so that's how you normally communicated with him over
Yes.
FaceTime. On this specific incident that I asked you about, was there anything different about your communication with him?
Yes, he did not have the device in his hand. Somebody was holding it for him. And he normally, like I said, he normally always had it. But it was a very short call. And he would look up, and whoever it was obviously taller than him. But he was having a bad... taller than him.
And you said it was a short call. Do
Yes.
you recall approximately how long it lasted?
Probably maybe 30 to 45 seconds.
Okay. Did you have any other contact with him by FaceTime after that?
Yes.
Do you recall the next time you did?
Yes.
When approximately was that?
It was in the evening time, and again, he was not holding the device. He was, this time he was in a really foul mood, and he just really didn't want to talk. And I remember he just didn't want to talk. He was having a little meltdown. So I remember being very upset that Lori waited till that time of the evening, or he was very tired. He was overly tired probably, and he didn't want to talk.
Okay.
So I was very upset about that.
About approximately how long did that conversation last?
It was under a minute, 30, 45 seconds, maybe a minute.
Okay. Did you have any other contact with J.J. Vallow?
The last FaceTime, the last contact that we ever had with them was on August the 10th of 19. And that was a 35-second FaceTime. And he, again, was not holding the iPad or the device. He just said, "Hi, Mama. Hi, Papa." And then he looked up as if someone, whoever was holding the device, and he goes, "Gotta go, Mama. Gotta go." How do you say it? "Gotta go, Mama. Gotta go, Papa. Bye."
Okay.
And that was it.
So that was the end of the conversation.
That was it. Yes.
So it was a short conversation.
Yes.
And that was the last time you ever had contact with J.J. Vallow?
Yes.
On August 10th, 2019?
Yes.
Okay. Did you attempt to have contact with J.J. after that?
Yes.
Okay. How would you attempt to have contact with J.J.?
Myself and Larry would, it was call, email, text, voicemail, any way we could, but I never got any response from her.
Okay. I'm going to take you back in time a little bit. Did you attempt to arrange with Lori for JJ to attend Charles's memorial service?
Yes.
Where was Charles's memorial service held?
In Lake Charles.
Okay. How did you communicate about that with Lori?
I don't remember if it was a phone call or a text, I don't know, but she had agreed that JJ could attend the memorial service.
Okay, and did you have a plan for picking him up and the logistics of that?
Yes, I bought plane tickets for me to go to Phoenix and pick him up, get him from her, and to fly back to Lake Charles and attend his memorial service, his dad's memorial service. And we were going to have him for a week. And then I was going to fly back to Phoenix with him and give him to Lori and then fly home.
Okay. Did JJ end up attending his father's memorial service?
No, he wasn't allowed to.
Okay, and did you speak with Lori about that? Or communicate with Lori about that?
She wouldn't answer anytime I tried to reach out, she wouldn't answer me.
Okay. Was Lori at Charles's memorial service?
No.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to ask the bailiff to show to the defense and hand the witness a self-authenticating document.
All right, is there a courtesy copy for the court?
I don't have a courtesy copy for the court, Your Honor.
All right, well, go ahead.
It's in an evidence bag.
Okay. Is it on the exhibit list?
Yes.
I'd like to review that as well.
And Your Honor, this may be a good time for me to lodge an objection outside the presence of the jury. I don't know if the court wants to do a sidebar first or what.
All right, if that's the case, Mr. Thomas, I'll suggest we'll take our lunch recess at this time and ask the jurors to be excused before we do that, and then I can take up the objection you're going to lodge once they've been excused to the jury room for the lunch break. So let's go ahead and do that now then, so if all would rise for the jury.
All right.
Thank you. Please be seated. Mr. Thomas, if you've got an objection, you can indicate that at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I voir dire native an objection?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Woodcock, a little earlier in the testimony, you were looking at some papers that you indicated refreshed your recollection about some text messages. Is that correct?
Yeah, where I got responses or whatever from Lori, yes.
Okay. And where did you get those papers?
I had her numbers in my phone.
Where did you get the papers that you had?
Oh, I printed them.
You printed them yourself?
No, I brought them. I sent them. I emailed them to somebody, somebody on the prosecution team, and they printed them for me.
Oh, so you've had contact with the prosecution team?
Yes.
Okay. And how many times have you had contact with the prosecution team? When was the first time you talked to them?
In probably January of 2020.
Okay. And how many times since January of 2020 have you had contact with the prosecution team?
Your Honor, I'm going to object. I don't know what this has to do with that document.
Your Honor, under Idaho Criminal Rule 16b-6, the state is required to give me a summation of whenever they speak to a witness, what the things that are said within that meeting, and if she's had meetings with the prosecution that we are not privy to and that we have not been given access to or summations of. We've objected to those in the past. The state has provided some on other witnesses, but I don't believe we've gotten any on Ms. Woodcock. It's a violation of Rule 16, discovery.
Has there been a specific written request made by the defense?
No, because we didn't know they were having continued contact. Under 16b-6, they are required to do that.
Well, the rule starts off on written request of the defendant. That's why I'm asking if there's a written request.
Oh, absolutely, yes. There's a written request.
And that's just going to witness lists. The state's included this witness. Oh, thank you. All right, I've reviewed the rule. What's the state's response, Mr. Wood?
Thank you, Your Honor. The rule does not require we provide a summation of every conversation we have with the witness. The rule requires that we disclose if they make any statements to the prosecutor or to law enforcement. Any statements of this witness have been provided in reports, in law enforcement reports. They've never made a statement to us other than what's included in those reports. And so the objection is unfounded.
All right, Mr. Thomas, I'll allow you additional rebuttal if you'd like on the argument.
No, Your Honor, I think the Rule 16b-6 is clear that they were required to turn over any statements that the witness makes with the prosecution or any of their agents.
All right, I've reviewed the rule, Mr. Thomas. I'm going to overrule the objection, and that'll be the ruling on that. In accordance with the rule, I think the state's indicated the rationale there, and you're allowed to ask if somebody's talked to a prosecutor before they've testified. That's generally part of cross-examination, but in terms of a requirement for some document that you think runs afoul of that rule, I don't see that here at this time, so the objection is overruled. With that in mind, then, why don't we have our lunch recess, and then we can continue with the questioning of this